Welcome to another Bakcou build, and today we're going to build the new Kodiak all-wheel drive SD model. So let's go. So first thing, as we do, we always like to open up the box. Be careful, get a box knife. Easiest is to just cut out the front. Remove the box, get the bike out. You'll notice that the tool set accessories and the charger, the display, some of the parts you'll want to pull out, set to the side. Best thing is get the box and all the cartons out of your way. Start de-zip tying and the protective coating, you're removing all that to get it all freed up so we're ready to start putting things together. So once you got all the packing off the bike, be careful if you're using dikes to snip the zip ties that you're not cutting any cables or anything crucial as you get ready to build. The first step on these bikes is you notice the display doesn't come installed. We're gonna go ahead and get the front display installed. The fork is backwards in the box. You can put the display on backwards at this point just to get it on, get it kind of snugged into place. What you don't want is the compression in the head tube for the bearings to come loose. Just make sure you get your display in, snug it down a little bit, then you can turn the fork around. You'll notice that the brake hydraulic line, it comes down one way, so you'll want to follow that so it doesn't get tangled. Get it front and center, and now what we'll do is get the handlebars set in place. So you remove the front stem plate with 4mm, then get your handlebars set in there. You'll see that the cables go each side. Get the screws back in, get the stem plate, tight. It's not necessarily you have these fully tightened right now because we want to adjust it at the end, at the final build. Now we got the handlebars in, check the cables, make sure they're plugged in, nice and tight. They're all waterproof. You'll notice that they're color coded. The display is the canvas version, the new upgraded software, so it's more of a V style plug, and there's only one for that. Now, don't force any of them, make sure they go in nice and smooth. They are tight, so they're waterproof. Now, as we move on, we're gonna get the front wheel in. There's a wedge in the front brake to keep the brake pads apart, so remove the wedge. Get your wheel lined up with power cable of the motor coming out of the bottom of the axle. And on the axle, you'll notice that there's flat on each side, and you'll need them vertical. So the fork sets down on those to help with the torque on the motor when it wants to pull you. So gently lift the bike, get vertical above it. So you want to make sure that the rotor is getting in between the brake pads that are installed in the calipers. So the rotor is vital that you don't bend it or put too much weight on it until it is nice right between the brake pads, and the forks sit down on the axle nice and smooth. And then now it's a 19mm on the axle nuts. There's some added washers that you'll want to put in, keep it nice and snug. Just make sure that these axle nuts are tight every ride, firmed in there. You don't want these to ever come loose, to lose your front wheel. It's ugly and it's not very fun. Now that we got the front wheel on, we'll get the pedals in. You notice that there is a left and a right pedal. The left one is reverse threads, and that is so when you're pedaling, you don't pedal the threads out. Either you can use a 15mm wrench to tighten them in, get them nice and snug. They already have Loctite on them. Like I say, comes with the throttle removable. Again, you can install the throttle either side. I like putting it on the left because on the right you got your shifting components here, and it kind of gets confusing. So your 3mm, remove the screw. And legally, if you run class 1 on trails, you do need to have this throttle removed. It can't not just be disabled. Remove the waterproof plug. Looking for the guidance, so it goes in, good to go. One thing too is make sure you don't over tighten this. Sometimes you tighten down this throttle too much, and you can cause pressure in here to where the throttle could get stuck or do weird things, and should be good. Now at this point, you can go over the bike, look over, make sure everything's nice and snug. You stand over the bike. This is where we're gonna set the handlebar and firm it up. You might even have to do it a couple times out on a ride if the brake handles are not aligned and comfortable to grab. The new displays are adjustable, so you can adjust the stem to ride. If you want to ride a little higher or a little lower, you can adjust that. Spend a little time getting this bike adjusted to your height and how you like to ride. If you got to move the seat back or forward, because we really want you to enjoy how you're riding. Then once you get that set, you can snug them up. There's torque settings on there to get everything torqued down to the right spec. You don't want anything to be loose and moving on you at that point. So on the Kodiak, it actually comes with a front fender, and we'll just remove this front screw here. I like to set the fender behind the fork. Again, it's a 10 millimeter on the back nut, a lock, and then a 4 on the front. Now, one cool feature on our new SD models is you have this versatile rack. It's quickly interchangeable. This is the new battery. They come in a 15 amp hour and a 20 amp hour. They're all 52 volts. If you have the 20 from the rack and the 20 from the bike, you're running 40 amp hours. You can really easily get over 100 miles a ride, depending on the terrain and how you're riding. Again, this is the Kodiak all-wheel drive SD model. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to our customer service team. We can answer any questions. Thank you for buying. Make sure you subscribe and share this video and like it. And any comments that you want to see or ask for, make sure you leave them below. And again, thank you. Become Bakcou tribe member.